Hello, welcome to World Traveler Cooking, where we cover interesting foods and interesting cuisines from around the world. Today we're going to make Sabzi Polo in honor of Nowruz, which is the Persian New Year. This starts at the beginning of spring, and this particular dish, often associated with the holiday, is a celebration of spring onions and fresh herbs and other things that the spring has to offer. So, our ingredients, normally I think most people make this in larger quantities, so I'm scaling down the recipe a bit. I'm starting with 200 grams of rice, which I will be parboiling. I've already washed this. I have 250 grams of chopped mixed herbs. These are traditionally parsley, cilantro, dill, and green onion, which is exactly what I have here. 50 grams of butter. I'll use half a teaspoon of cinnamon. I will use about 2 teaspoons of salt. Probably, I'm guessing one and a half of these potatoes. They'll be sliced and used to layer the bottom of this pot. And a pinch of saffron. Now, even for 400 grams, you can probably get by with one packet that you'd buy at the store. That's 1/10 of 1 gram. But if you have more saffron, go ahead and use it. This is a celebratory food, so I wouldn't be stingy on these things if you don't have to be. So, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by parboiling the rice, and then we will steep the saffron in boiling water. Yeah, this is going to be great. So we're going to bring this to a boil and parboil the rice for about 10 minutes, and then we'll wash it again and set up our pot. Similarly, I just took eyeballed 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup and sprinkled my saffron on, and we're just going to let this steep. So here's the parboiled and rinsed rice. Now normally this should be a long grain rice, but I'm using what I can get. Now we will assemble our polo. So into the pot we're going to pour, in this case, about 2 tablespoons, give or take, olive oil. And then we're going to take our potato slices and we're going to lay them on the bottom of the pot. This will create both a insulating layer to keep the rice from burning, and it will also create this sort of really nice crispy layer that we can enjoy, called the tadig. Okay, so here we are. That looks like enough, so I didn't even use all of 1 potato. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start with 1/3 of my rice, roughly. And I'm going to put that in here. Then I'm going to put on that half of my veggies. It's actually smelling really good even now. And then 1/3 of my rice. And maybe half or so of the saffron water. Oh, that was more than half, but oh well. Rest of the veggies. Actually, maybe half of the salt. The rest of the veggies. Remember, the salt will sink in the dish, but not entirely. So maybe a little more of the salt. Rest of the rice. rest of the saffron. Sprinkle in the rest of the salt. Then I'm going to take the handle of the spoon. I'm going to make 7 holes all the way down to the bottom. These will be steam vents, and they will help with the cooking process. So, after about half an hour, we will, looks like the tahdig did not separate cleanly. We will remove the peel off, and I will scrape up the tahdig at the bottom. Apparently it isn't quite done, but yeah, we'll make this work. And now for the taste test. I'm going to serve myself just a little bit of this crispy top with this, because I'm not serving myself too much for the taste test. Just enough to actually taste it. So certainly this would be better with a longer grain rice, just from a texture perspective. But the flavors are very, very nice. You get the butter, you get the herbs. It's just a very fresh and yet relatively complex rice dish. I really like this. So, if you find this content interesting, you'd like to see more of it, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have anything to say about this video, I'd love to hear from you. At any rate, recipes in the description. Bon appetit, and see you next week.